Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. It's the 10th of March. I hope everyone's doing well. This is your daily market outlook for today, and we're going to get straight into the charts. Let's see how the dollar is doing. As you guys can notice, next week we had a very bearish week. If we just quickly go to the weekly time frame, you'll be able to see that it was a bearish week from a dollar standpoint. So obviously, naturally, if you look at my actual charts here, I've got my monthly higher low and my monthly higher high here. We are around the 50% mark, I think, of the monthly range. Yep, so we're in and around that 50% mark. At the moment, if we do retrace, I would like to see this imbalance here met at some point. As you guys can notice, a big gap within inside the market. Let's move this away. And obviously, we've got a demand zone at the bottom of this as well. So if the market is going to retrace from a higher time frame, eventually we should be able to see it come into this area, and then from here we can obviously notice what's going to happen if we're going to carry on upwards or if we're not. So we can just focus on, okay, where can the market come to? Well, we have imbalance all here, so the market could continue down from a technical standpoint. But if we go down to the daily, let's see what the dollar is doing on the daily time frame. You'll be able to notice that, of course, we're inside of this demand area at the moment. So that is exactly what we're at. We are slowing down. If you look at the daily time frame, we've got, the past Thursday and Friday, we've slowed down a hell of a lot inside of this area. So obviously, as we always say, once we get into a consolidation zone, or should I say demand or supply zone, naturally the market should slow down to make a decision if supply or if demand's going to carry on, or if supply is going to carry on downwards. Who's going to take control? The battle of supply and demand, I guess, as you guys can say. So that it'll be interesting going into this week to see what reaction that we do get from this area. We're going to carry on downwards, or are we going to get a break up? So then we can participate in buying upwards into this level of supply here. So let's mark out the daily supply zone, which is at this candle here. So if the market does break out, and we can expect it to then retrace to this daily supply candle. And if you look at the actual move, we've got a lot of imbalance to fill as well. So first thoughts, daily demand. Daily is downtrending, as you guys can see. We've got our daily lower high and daily lower low. But if we can get the market to give us that change of trend on the 4 hour, we can look to see this come into this area. Then we want to see if we can carry this trend on downwards. So that is my thought for the US dollar. If we go into euro, so let's start off with the majors. If you go to euro USD, you'll be able to see that it's the exact same scenario, but on the opposite side. So again, if you look at the monthly and the weekly, we've got our monthly lower high, monthly lower low. If you just flick through down the time frames, you see that we've got our weekly lower low, and we've had our weekly change of trend here. So this is our weekly higher high. So markets currently in this demand, I expect to see it retrace into this daily and weekly demand candle, and then potentially carry on upwards from here. So drop down to the daily, what can we see? Well, we can see it's a little bit more clearer right now that we have this daily higher low and this daily higher high. So if the market does decide that we want to retrace, can we see a retracement to the lowest point here, which is my daily demand candle? Yes, you can obviously have this whole area as your demand candle, which is valid. But just for my purpose, I've got my daily demand, and then there's imbalance above this demand area as well. So again, imbalance above this area, that's where I'd like to see the market retrace to. So before that, same scenario. As I mentioned in the dollar, if you look right now, we are currently in still that bullish move. There's no confirmation right now. You can see that we just pull back a little bit, pull back a little bit, pull back a little bit. So if we was to consider obviously looking for sales, we would need to see this level broke, and then we would need to see a supply area met so that we can trade this downwards. So that is my first thought, is eventually the market will retrace. It will want to fill in this imbalance, and then potentially carry on up from here. So can we see the market have that change of trend on a 4 hour, so that we can look to basically carry this on? If it was to carry on upwards, I would like to see this 4 hour demand area met, And then obviously we do carry that trend, you know, up to further upside, we would just want to see retracement and then obviously go and create a new higher high on that 4 hour. So there are my first thoughts. The only thing that obviously I'm keeping in mind is when you do look at the daily with all this imbalance and this big institutional candles that we have, you got to understand that we're never just going to carry on, you know, trending on upwards at all time. Eventually, we will get a retracement to rebalance the market, and then eventually that's where we could see that market carry on upwards. So that's something that I always, you know, always keep in mind, and also at the same time understand that we're in this 4 hour and daily supply. If I just put it to a 4 hour supply with this imbalance, you'll be able to see that's why we're slowing down right now. So could we see that market change trend from here into this area below? So GU will be pretty much the same. So there's no need to go to the higher time frames, but you'll be able to notice that. Of course, same scenario, we are in this you know, supply candle here. As you guys can notice, if I go down to the 4 hour, it'll probably be a lot more clearer. Let me just double check. You'll be able to see that we'll be in this 4 hour candle. It's not as clean as I'd like. But let's just quickly start off with a daily again. You'll be able to notice that obviously we have, you know, very bullish movement. Very bullish movement with the dollar, sorry, with the GU. We've got our daily higher low and our daily higher high here. So it's same scenario, we need to rebalance this market. So eventually I do expect the market to, you know, retrace eventually and then make a decision if it wants to carry on upwards. So with that being said, if we look at the 4 hour, well, quickly on the daily, this will be my daily demand area. The last candle, imbalance above, so that stands out to me. If you look at the 4, we're in this consolidation stage as well. So again, the same scenario, we need to see this level broke here in order to look for sells down into this area here. So that is my first main thought for GU. Pardon me. So as of right now, we have this level of demand in control. This is where the 4 hour demand is. So again, if it was to carry on upwards, I would expect the market to retrace and then carry on from here. So let's see how that plays out. EU looks a little bit more cleaner just to look at from a lower time frame. AU, I don't like the look of. NZUSD, let's see what she's doing. Pretty much the same scenario. If you look at the daily time frame, apart from obviously we had a lot more bearishness than we did with these two, you know, the week prior, I think it was. So if you look at where we're currently at on NZUSD, we have had that daily, you know, change of trend from here. And we are in the deepest part of the 4 hour supply area from this daily supply area. So we drop down to the 4. If you look, this is where we're currently at. We obviously mitigated this area and then we started to move away. If I look at the 1 hour, you'll be able to notice that this level of supply here was for this movement back up, which we have mitigated, and we are still kind of in that supply. But I think if the market's going to carry on downwards, we will need to see probably this 1 hour supply area with the imbalance above met. So if it was to carry on down, this would mean why 1 hour supply, we've got imbalance, and then we've also got these highs to use as liquidity as well. So that would be my main thought if it was to carry on downwards. This is liquidity, imbalance, and then a 1 hour supply. So if it was to carry on down, I'd want to see it. Oh, let me just get rid of this magnet. I'd want to see that. But if you look at the time frame that we're in, it's ugly, but you'll be able to notice that the market's gone from obviously trending down on the 1 hour to now trending upwards. So again, you got to understand that the bullishness is still in control, and obviously, you know, this whole level of demand, I would like to see a retracement if it was to carry on down upwards, you know, retracement into this area, and then obviously carry on upwards from here if it was to just carry on. But again, I'll be real, looking at NZUSD is not clean, so I'm not even going to look to, you know, look to trade it. Just to be completely real with you guys, I'm really not interested in trading NZUSD unless it gives me a clear indication that we are seeing further downside, or obviously upside as well. It meets the alignments with the dollar. So let's look at USD CAD. So if you look at USD candles consolidating, we had this big news candle. We obviously then broke into this daily demand. We had a pullback, broke, and then we broke up. So we changed the trend on the daily from this high because we had low, pullback, and then break again. So right now we're in this level of demand. You can see we pull back into this demand level, and then we started to move away. So if we look at the 4 hour, what can we see? This is pretty clean, to be fair. We got the daily demand level, we've got the 4 hour downtrending, and then we had this 4 hour change of trend here. So we had, lower high, lower low, higher high here, break of that trend. So I'd expect this 4 hour to be let's focus on the 4 hour. The 4 hour candle is this candle. So again, we expect the market to retrace and then just carry this trend on upwards from here, from USD CAD. So keep an eye out on that. We then have USD CHF, which I don't think it's looking as nice. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's not looking as clean. We are in the extreme level of demand, which is, in the weekly time frame, which is here. So we are slowing down. So I do expect to see some bullishness up from here. That is my main thought. But in order for that to happen, if you look at the 4 hour, we've got this 4 hour lower high. So, we obviously can wait to see if we can get that change of trend. And then we can look for potentially buying ourselves up. And then if we was to react, I'd want to see this imbalance here filled. And we come into this 4 hour supply area. And then, of course, if we're in buyers, we can make a decision if we're going to stay in the trade or if we think it's going to carry on upwards. We can obviously hold it for a bit more of a swing trade. But yeah, I want to see some sort of change of trend from here. Predominantly on the 4 hour, predominantly a nice institutional candle breaking this like this, and then pull back to buy upwards. If it makes sense. So let's keep an eye out on that for USD CHF, USD Japanese yen. If we look at the daily time frame, what can we see? Well, on the daily time frame, you can see that we're very, very bearish at the moment. You'll be able to notice that, for me, obviously, we do have this this part here with a little bit of imbalance that we are currently in, but it's not as clean as I'd like because of the imbalance below. I would like to see this level here be met. If we focus on where the daily time frame is at, you can see that daily lower high, daily lower low. So let's just drop down to the 4. What can we see? Well, right now we're building up that consolidation. In order for us to continue downwards, we have this 4 hour supply. We're building up liquidity. We've got imbalance. We've got this supply area that I'd expect the market to just carry on downwards. Of course, if you feel confident enough in looking for a break, buying in this scenario on a pullback, and then also selling from here, you can do that and see if the supply or demand is going to win. Probably more so for the experienced guys that are on this video. So that they are my majors. They are pretty much all my majors. I can flick through, a couple of these that I've got setups, but I'm not going to go into too much detail and make this extra long. But as you guys can see, we've got big bearish movement from the daily time frame here. And of course, this is still my daily lower high because this, even though we had a pullback, this has failed to break this daily lower low. So could that tell us that now AUD CHF is on its way up? So as we look at the 4 hour, what can we see? Well, you can see that we are in this 4 hour demand and we are very much slowing down. We're kind of getting that bullish movement up. So if I just, half the time frame or just drop down to 1 hour, you can see that the movement right now is we had bearish, we slowed down, we consolidated, and then we're slowly now getting that movement up. So I would look to see an institutional move to then make sure that we can carry this trend on upwards. So AUD CHF, you can see on here. We've got AUD Japanese yen, which is pretty much the same. You'll be able to notice that. Bearish movement, we had a 4 hour change of trend, and we've come into this level of daily demand, I think it is. No, it's a 4 hour daily demand, but you look at the 4 hour, might be a bit more cleaner. I can't see it from here, but yeah, 4 hour demand. We've tapped into that, and we had this 4 hour change of trend here. So you can see 4 hour change of trend, and now we pull back into this demand area. So if you look at where we're currently at from this perspective, you can see that the 1 hour then changed trend, and we're now moving away. So again, I want to see this area broke for double confirmation, And if we can get this, I would look then to buy this upwards. So that's the AUD Japanese yen. I'm going to focus on a Japanese yen pairs just on this video call. Okay. Looking at a CHF-JPY, you'll be able to notice that. Let me just move all of this. You'll be able to notice that we obviously had a lot of bearish movement and then bullish movement. You know, we had this 4 hour lower low and then a 4 hour higher high, which broke this trend here. So the market retraced into that 4 hour demand, took liquidity into the 1 hour, and then we started to move away. Of course, right now, if you look, this is the demand candle that was in control. So you'll be able to notice that the market was pretty much trending upwards. If we get a break of this low, and then this supply is took control. So let's say we can get a break, then of course we can look to sell this downwards. But as of right now, we need to focus on, you know, where we're currently at because of this range low, this range high. Obviously, we get a carry on upwards, we'll look to buy from here. So keep an eye out on that. What else have we got for the euro pairs? We've got euro, Japanese yen. Let's quickly go to the 4. So you'll be able to notice that 4 hour is bullish. But the daily, I think, is bearish from what I remember. Daily lower high, daily lower low. To be fair, that's a new range from here. Took the high. Anyway, so let's focus on the 4. So 4 hour is bullish, you can see. I'd expect the market to retrace into this area. So if we can get bullish break here, we can look to sell this downwards into this area. And then we can make a decision to see if we're going to carry this euro Japanese yen trade from this 4 hour demand. Because you can see the bullishness coming in from this level here. So keep an eye out on that. And then we've got the Great British Pound, Japanese yen. We tapped into this 4 hour demand area last week. I had a trade idea from this 1 hour demand area. So I'm hoping that what's happening right now is this is our liquidity, early, you know, buyers. And I'm hoping that we can potentially see the early buyers be took out, fill in the rest of the imbalance that we have in a lower time frame into this 1 hour demand, and then we can see that change of trend to carry this on upwards. If I quickly show you the 1 hour, you'll be able to notice it a little bit more cleaner. Yeah, so you'll be able to see this is my 1 hour demand area. And you can see we've got imbalance below here as well. Ooh, imbalance below here as well. If I was to refine this, I would be refining it to this candle here. So yeah, keep an eye out on them. Of course, we have got this area from this higher low to this higher high. So, you know, if there's a lower time frame entry, probably on the 15-minute around this area, you know, you could see the market carry on up from here. But for me, I'm interested in filling this imbalance and then obviously tapping in lower. So let's see how GJ plays out. Then we've got NZ Japanese yen. If we look from a 4 hour standpoint, you'll be able to notice that we are very bearish, and then we've had this 4 hour change of trend, and the market didn't actually tap into this demand area, but we almost did. So for me, again, for me to look for buyers, I wanted to see this area tapped, and then we can move up. So I'm hoping, let's see if we can come lower, take this liquidity out, and then carry this bullish trend on upwards. So that would be my main thoughts for NZ Japanese yen. Now, quickly, we look at the Japanese yen basket. You'll be able to notice that bullishness, we're in this 4 hour range from here to here. We did tap into this 4 hour demand area. So you'll be able to notice that it's very clean. 4 hour demand, pull back 4 hour demand, made this, create liquidity, failed to tap in, come back, tapped in lower than this, and then we had this bullish move up. So we're trapped in between this supply and demand. So it'd be interesting if we can see if we take control this way, or sorry, we take control that way, or we take control this way. So it's going to be interesting to see on the lower time frames. But yeah, that is it for your daily market outlook. As always, I appreciate your time. Make sure you got the subscribe button turned on. Make sure that yours, you know, you get notifications turned on. I've had an extremely busy couple of weeks with family visiting myself over here in Spain, so that's why I've not been as active on here. But yeah, give me Give me obviously, the time to get back into this. I will be uploading every single day again. So I appreciate your patience as always. Let's have an amazing week, and we will catch up very, very soon. Take care.